Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we're going to talk about two different events we had over the course of the last 2 weekends. Kind of give you some background on them, compare, contrast, kind of give you an idea of what we've been up to or what I've been up to the last 2 weekends. Give you a little sneak peek of what you saw, and we're going to go from there. So the first video you're going to see is a clip of the semi-annual Miss Ruth's Time Bomb yard sale. Try to do it 2, 3, maybe 4 times a year. We haven't done it that often in the last couple of years, mainly because of the pandemic, but then just things come up. So Sarah pulled one together, and the first clip you're going to see is the right before we opened the doors, just to give you an idea of what we were selling, and then we'll talk about it. So stay tuned. Go.
Hey, Vintage Sample Station. It's Sarah here at Miss Ruth's Time Bomb. We're having a vintage yard sale today. So what happens is when we buy enormous estates of things, we oftentimes get things that maybe aren't an exact fit for our customers, or have been with us for so long that we've decided that we just need to let them go. So today, we're having a great time of filling a bag, 1 for $10 or 3 for $25. So what you do is just walk around and dig like it's a rummage sale, except it's not a rummage sale that you've ever been to before, because there's really cute vintage. It's just either too small, not the right thing. Again, like I said, for my customers, like, I love some of this stuff, but others don't. So what are you gonna do? You can't eat it. And what I have learned is the longer I hold on to things, the more likely that they'll get trashed anyway. So it's just really good to let things go. And it makes it so that we can get more stuff in every weekend. Andrew's always like, hey, has there anyone called? Is there any big estate? We need a really big estate. And I always panic and say, we have no room for a really big estate, Andrew. Where are we gonna put it? So this is like in hopes of cleaning out to bring in more. My husband loves that. Dave, say hello. He's not an alcoholic, he's just dramatic.
But look at all the great stuff. Fill a bag for $10. We have this a couple times a year, so make sure you check the website and the Facebook.
We'll show him your stuff too, Andrew.
Oh, yeah, and we do have some clearance items over here. Most of the items are $5 and under. Lots of fun stuff. And we'll take you and give you some footage here once we open the doors. All right, that was the clip right before we opened the doors. We kind of gave you a tour around of all the clothing we were selling, plus some of the housewares that I pulled out. My full plan had been to put the GoPro up in the loft where I was standing and put it on time lapse and get a kind of idea of people shopping around. Something came up right before the doors opened, and I came down, did the video, fully meant to go back upstairs. We were running around looking for something. Time came to open the doors, and it was like, I want you to picture it, Black Friday circa 1999 to 2002. Rush of people coming in the door. There was a line out front. They all were going towards the back, and it was just like this steady stream of people going. And I was behind the counter. Dave, Sarah's husband, was in the back. Sarah was in the seating area before you get to the party rental space that the Time Bomb has, by the way. If you need to have a party and you're local, there is a space in the back of the store. It's called Eugene's Garden. It's a very cool space. Tables, chairs, a little kitchenette. It's fully available for rent, so make sure you check that out. But we also host events in there, like the Vintage Yard Sale. There's once a month a horror movie club that meets back there on a Saturday night called Terror and Talk at the Time Bomb. There's a lot of different things that go on back there. So I went to try to go back with the camera to get some footage, and I got to the area, the seating area before you go into the space, and I couldn't get any further. It was packed full. And after the sale was over, Sarah and Dave told me all they saw was we had normal size shopping bags. There were 1 for 10, 3 for 25. You could fill them. And they said all you saw were people going over to the end of a table and just stuffing the bag, not even looking, and just closing it, tying it, getting another one, closing it, tying it. And you saw people walking out with 3 bags, 6 bags, 9 bags, 12 bags. And this went on for at least 2 hours. And I remember looking at the sales and going, oh my God, like, how's this even going on? So I ended up going back after about 2 hours because I had to use the restroom, and the restroom is back there. And it took me 10 minutes to get through the crowd. And when I came out, I noticed, holy crap, the tables were just about empty. And Sarah looked at me and said, we need more stuff. So I went down to the basement, and yes, there's a basement in the store, and it is full of stuff. And I remembered there was a giant rolling cart bin that we had started in the back of the corner of the basement to put stuff for yard sales. And so I went down, and Tommy that works at the store went down, and I'm in the corner, like knee deep in this cart, digging stuff out, putting it in laundry baskets. She's running up the stairs, dumping it on the table. We did this like 10 or 15 times and filled the tables back up. And that got us through the next few hours. And it blew my mind. But the nice thing about this was they weren't just there for the yard sale stuff. They were buying regular price items. They were buying housewares. They were buying accessories. It was an amazing day. We were blown away by all the people that came out. So if you came out that day for the yard sale and you bought stuff from us, everybody there, we all thank you from the bottom of our hearts. That was a great day. We enjoyed meeting a lot of you that have never been in. I had people that stopped by and said hello, love the houseware section. So thank you for coming out. It was great. Everybody appreciates it, and we will be doing another one here coming up at some point. It's just a matter of time of sitting down on the calendar and figuring out a day and time to do it. So, excuse me, that is about the yard sale. The next couple clips of videos you're going to see are from the Central PA Vintage Fest in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. That was on March 23rd, this past Saturday. And you're going to get to see the Miss Ruth. Yes, Mother Darling is going to make an appearance on the YouTube channel for the first time. So stay tuned for that. All right, we are doing sale prep. We got Pee Wee down here holding the sign for the shop. Got some great clothing. Ruth wants to be on camera soon, so she's prepping herself. Lots of great colorful clothes for the spring. Look at some of these things. Fantastic. Everything's got a good price on it. Look at this. Who doesn't need that? This is cute with the frills. This guy up here. Some artwork and a pillow. Lots of fun stuff. Look at that sweater. Cute, cute, cute. Some crinolines. We got Ruthie back here prepping everything for the jewelry.
Getting ready. Martha Rotten.
Look at Martha Rotten stuff.
Very cool.
And if you don't come to the show, Martha Rotten's on Instagram. You can buy it from there. We have our prickly pins here. Then we go over here. This is all the fun stuff we brought for the housewares. Lots of fun stuff. And we'll take you around the mall here once we get it open and up and running.
Here we are. Everything's really cute. Hey. Martha Rotten.
Ruthie's doing her thing. She's rearranging.
Gotta make it cute. Gotta make it cute. Okay. Not my first rodeo, Sarah Bear.
Tell everybody how long you've been doing this for.
30 years. No. I made that up.
She's been doing this since she was 10.
Born for this.
Folks, she's only 40 years old.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Nope, I don't like that. Chicken fingers.
This is all part of the process.
Yes, it is. It is a process.
While she's doing that, we'll just give you an overview.
These are gorgeous, gorgeous. Prime location.
And we'll check back in here in a little bit.
My dad used to work. Hello. Do you edit that?
It's working from my way. Your dad used to work?
Those sweaters in Shinoki used to be fun. Those Aztec-y sweaters.
He was ahead of his time.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you got to see the Miss Ruth. She made her debut appearance. Thank you, Mother, for appearing on my channel. I'm sure we'll get a ton more subscribers. She is world famous, folks. She has been in magazines. She has traveled. People know her as the tattooed lady with the little angry chihuahua that buys vintage. She's very famous. I would show some of the magazines, but I know she would kill me. So, needless to say, Ruth got approached by these people putting on the Central PA Vintage Fest. Fantastic folks, very nice. This was their first show. They wanted to put this on. They put it on at a place in Williamsport called the Pajama Factory. It is a massive factory that has been converted into common use space, loft spaces, stores, businesses. There were two spaces. There was the main room, which consisted of a lot of vintage clothes vendors, mainly what we call the t-shirt bros, which are the younger generation selling the normcore t-shirts, 90s clothing, that kind of stuff, with a little bit of vintage mixed in. There was a couple vendors that were doing some vintage housewares, and then on the room that we were in the community room, there was a mix of vendors. They were doing some vintage, some housewares, collectibles, some newer things, some handmade things. It was a good mix. Everybody did a very nice job. We were actually up on the stage. There was a stage that was above everybody else, slightly above, where we were with another vendor who was a graphic designer. There was a set of stairs that came up. I felt really bad. Super nice guy. But everybody had to walk through his space to get to our space. And every time I turned around and Ruth was going somewhere, she was beelining right through his space. So sorry about that if you're watching that. I felt bad. Maybe we should have switched spaces. There was a lot of traffic. But we were able, I drove up Friday night to about an hour away from here where Ruth lives. Met up with her. We loaded my stuff into her car. It took another 45-minute drive up to Williamsport. We were able to get in, set the majority of the items up, just to get enough done so that we didn't have to kill ourselves in the morning. And then took a look around at the people that were set up so far, just to get an idea. And you'll see a little, as you saw a little bit of us kind of the next mornings we had set up. We were fidgeting with some jewelry. Our space had the vintage clothes, which came from the Time Bomb. Then I had a table of vintage housewares and accessories. And then we had another table with our buddy Francine from Martha Rotten Jewelry. If you're not familiar, go over to Instagram and look up Martha Rotten. She makes fantastic, and I'm not just saying this because she's my friend, fantastic lead-free pewter jewelry. She makes all her own molds, casts everything. It is handmade, amazing quality, very unique jewelry. She has a huge following. She just has a talent. Her and her husband work very hard on this, and Ruth actually sells this because she has two businesses, Totem Tattoos. One's in Williamsport, one's in Shamokin Dam. If anybody out there is local to this area and needs a tattoo or a piercing, make an appointment, get in line. They are always full because they do such good work. Ruth is one of the piercers in Williamsport. She does all the piercings in Williamsport. She's been doing it 35 years. She is meticulous. She puts a lot of effort into it. All the tattoo artists in there, all the piercers that work for them, they take a lot of pride in their work. So, Ruth always carries the best jewelry, fittings, etc. For her clients because she believes that when you buy quality, it helps with the healing process, etc. So I always recommend, even if you're an hour away, 2 hours away, make an appointment, make the drive, go. So she carries, the point of that is she carries Martha Rotten jewelry in the store and consigns it for our buddy Francine. So we brought it. So she had a table of that, plus we had some prickly pins that Sarah sold in the store. And there was a lot of people through the doors. Since this was the first show, definitely a couple takeaways that we had were I took, as you saw, a good mix of housewares. Oddly enough, if I was off the top of my head, I sold all the glassware sets. I sold some of the little knickknacks. I sold the lion pillow. I did not sell the swan glass vase. I did not sell the lamps. I did not sell the Pyrex. I sold a lot of the vintage band pins. So I figured, the next time we do the show, there's one coming up in October we're thinking about doing. I probably will aim for more of like a $25 or $5 to $50 price point. I think that'll definitely help with increasing the sales. Just because now I have an idea. And that's, doing these shows, that's kind of what you have to do. You kind of have to learn as these shows progress what sells, what doesn't sell, what your clientele is, what kind of price point, and it definitely helps. Sometimes when you're doing a show and they charge at the door, you get a higher price point for things because those people paying to get in to shop at a show, they're there to buy, and their intention is to walk out of there with stuff. So they will pay a little bit more than you would if you just open the doors and people are just coming in for something to do on a Saturday and just want to spend $5-10 on things. So definitely it was a busy day. The only takeaway that I think I had as a vendor is trying to better connect the two rooms and maybe posting somebody at each space to say, hey, did you know there's another room? If you go up this flight of stairs and down the hall, there's the main room. Or if you go down this hallway and down the flight of stairs, you'll come into the maker's room. Or just posting some more signs. Like I said, this was an old factory building, and the room we were in was on the lower level of one building, and you either had to go out a set of doors through a courtyard out a fence to another door and up a set of stairs to get to the main room, or you had to go down this wiggly hallway, down a set of stairs, and into the room to get to us. So I definitely think, from a vendor perspective, to kind of communicate to everybody, I don't know, do arrows on the floor, on the walls, just to get people to kind of follow the leader type thing. And maybe call them this not a maker's mart and, Vintage Fest main room kind of thing. Maybe just build it all together. The other thing that killed me is when I do these shows, of course, we're there. We can't run out and get something to eat. There was a great coffee shop in the building that had awesome drinks, breakfast pastries. It was great. First thing in the morning, grabbed a couple of those. They were fantastic. There was 2 food trucks that were outside, and we went out about 12:30 to get stuff, and they were sold out of everything. So definitely, from a vendor's perspective, get some more food trucks. Or these people need to bulk up on their food. Because we were like, no, we were starving. So I went back in the coffee shop and grabbed whatever pastries they had left. But definitely that would have been a good draw. I don't do too many shows in a year because, like I said, there are a lot of work to prep everything, to get it all set up, especially if you're traveling. Sarah puts on a show called the Market of Curiosities. If you're in the Carlisle area, the first Saturday of December every year, it's usually 11 to 6 at the Carlisle Expo Center on the first Saturday of December. And it is about 85 vendors of vintage, DIY, unique items, artisan items. The vendors are all hand-picked. This is not a typical craft show. You're not going to walk in and see crocheted pot holders or a pyramid table for some weight loss thing, or handy wooden crafts. This is good. We've been doing this, I want to say 7, 8 years at this point, minus a couple years during the pandemic where we had to cancel it. And it is good. Sarah gets a circus in, and you can see an actual circus perform. There is a lot of fantastic stuff in that. There's food vendors, there's wineries, there's breweries. I do a whole booth of vintage Christmas. I have ceramic Christmas trees, a whole table of those. I have ornaments, I have knickknacks. I do fantastic. Always do that show. And the reason I do it is I can go in the day before, set up, go home, crawl in my own bed, get up the next morning, go do the show, and then come home into my own bed the same night. So sometimes when we have to do these shows and it's a lot of travel, it makes it a little rough. So I think we'll end up doing the show in October. I just think we'll have to tweak it a little bit on what we take. But it definitely was a good show. It was fun. I always enjoy spending time with Ruth. We carry on. We have a good time. It's not so much about making money, which it is, but it's also about spending time together and having a good time and enjoying it. And of course, we got our stuff set up, and then we went around and she bought a couple things because she had her eye on a couple things. I really didn't buy much of anything. I just didn't see anything that I was like, I gotta have it, caught my eye, which is unusual. But it is what it is. Saved me some money. So I made some money. I had a good time. Would I do it again? Probably. Was it as good as the is the vintage yard sale? No. But it is the first show. You know, it's kind of, you learn as you go, and I do think it has a really good potential to be a really good show. So I was very glad to be part of it. Like I said, they did a fantastic job, and we'll probably do it again next time. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed everything, and make sure you, if you're not following Miss Ruth's Time Bomb on Instagram or Facebook, follow them. You'll see a lot more of them. Follow Miss Ruth at The Real Piercings by Miss Ruth. That is her Instagram, and it's all one word. It's The Real Piercings by Miss Ruth. She's character. So make sure you follow her. Make sure you follow Totem Tattoo Studios, Williamsport. You need a tattoo or a piercing, go see them. They are fantastic, and I'm not just saying that because they're family. I'm saying that because they are. And we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Oh, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Do not forget to do that. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If I haven't said that before, I'll say it again. But we'll see you on the next video. Thanks.